If you're gonna hit the gym, why not be the most well-rounded you could be? Have the strength, the aesthetics, and the conditioning all together. What's up everyone, David here. Got a new video for y'all today, but before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you miss on any new videos, because remember, new videos on this channel are Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. Now today we're going to be talking about how to structure your workout program based on multiple goals that you may have. So many people think that you can only prioritize one type of training style, essentially one type of goal that you're trying to achieve. For most people, it may be for aesthetics, bodybuilding, hypertrophy, building muscle, essentially training for looks. Other people, their goal may be strength, just loading up the bar. What is the absolute strongest that they can get? Other people, it might just be simple weight loss, just trying to get a little slimmer, trying to lose a little fat. Okay, there's nothing wrong with having any of those three goals, but what if you can structure your workout program so you can be the most well-rounded athlete you could be and have the perfect combination of all three of those? Again, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. When it comes to my workout programs, although I love training for strength, that's my number one thing, I wouldn't mind looking a little bigger. I wouldn't mind being lean. I want to be the most well-rounded person I can be. I want to have the right combination of a great physique, impressive strength, and still maintain how lean I am. There are ways to go about it. You do not need to prioritize one and only focus on that one. Again, this is just to be as well-rounded as possible. So to start things off, I want to be combining strength and the aesthetics, just because I feel like you're going to be getting those results through the same workout, essentially what you do in the gym. I'm going to be speaking from my own personal experience. A lot of this is going to come down to what has worked for me. What works for me might not always work for you, but you can take what it is that I've been applying to my own workout routines, try it out for yourself, modify it as needed. So as far as strength goes, that's going to be the first lift I do in my workouts. Let's just say I have a 5-day split, which I currently do. We're going to do legs, push, pull, and then again lower body, and then upper body. Those are the 5 days. The first exercise for each one will be your main strength movement. For most people, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that on leg day, it's going to be some type of squat. Okay, on push day, it's going to be some type of bench press. Back day, pull day, however you want to say it, I'm pretty sure it's going to be some type of heavy row, heavy pull up, heavy deadlift, anything along the lines of that. Those first movements are going to be your main strength movements. That's when you're going to be very specific about how much weight you load up on the bar and then how much reps you're going to be lifting it for. Everything that comes after those main strength movements will essentially be bodybuilding. Now that we got the strength out the way, we hit the numbers and for the desired number of reps that we want, now we're going to go ahead and look at the physique, the aesthetics to go with that strength. In this case, we're talking about a little bit higher rep range. Now we're focusing on the eccentrics. Now we're focusing on getting a good contraction in this muscle, essentially chasing a pump. But how do we know how to match each strength movement with certain reps, certain sets, and then what muscle groups do we hit? What do we focus on bodybuilding? Let's just break it down to the way that I personally do it. Starting off with leg day. I do that on Mondays. My first movement is always going to be squats. Now, this is my primary strength movement, so I'm always going to be manipulating the sets and reps depending on what my top set of that day is. Take as many warm-up sets as needed to get up to that top set. Okay, good. One set with whatever desired number of reps. Once I get that out the way, then I still keep that movement, but I'm going to be modifying it a bit. I'm modifying it to address my weak point, in this case, the lower half of the squat. So box squats, that's where they come into play. 2 sets of box squats with the same number of repetitions as the original squats. So if I had to do a top set of 8 on regular squats, okay, now we're doing 2 sets of 8 on the box squats. Afterwards, now I'm going to go ahead and look at my bodybuilding per se. Quad-based movement. I'm talking about something like a hack squat, really focusing on getting a good deep stretch in that quad in the bottom portion, looking at it through bodybuilding parameters, going slow on the way down, really focusing on that eccentric. Afterwards, now we're looking at the other portions of the legs, because when it comes to bodybuilding, you got to develop everything evenly. Now we're going to be focusing on a little more hamstrings. Finish things off with leg extensions for the quads, but now pairing it up with some back extensions for the hamstrings. We can't just be working on the quads. We already got our strength up the way. Our quads are nice and strong, but for bodybuilding, it's not just the front part of your leg. You also got to go ahead and hit the back part. When you hit those poses, when judges are looking at you from the back, people see the behind your leg, you got to make sure you have hamstrings equally as developed as those quads. And then we're going to go ahead and finish things off with one more superset, still addressing the backside, hamstrings and glutes. Seated hamstring curls, still looking at it through bodybuilding, slow eccentrics, full stretch, full contraction, really chasing the pump, getting as much blood as we can in those hammies. And then last one, supersetting it with some back extensions, a little bit more glute work, same thing, full range of motion, make sure we're controlling, going nice and easy on the way down, full contraction at the top. Now on Tuesday, that's when I do my push workout. And essentially all it is chest and triceps. Again, combining strength and aesthetics, starting off with the strength-based movements, which I'm pretty sure for anyone on push day, essentially it's a chest day, you're gonna do some type of bench press. For me, I do it with typical barbell, top set of whatever weight for however many reps. Okay, one set of that. Then the 2 sets of a modified version of the bench press to address the weakness and get you stronger. In this case, I do 2 sets of pause bench, tap the chest, quick sec, and then boom, pop up. Those are my 2 strength-based movements. Once those are out the way and I hit the exact numbers for the exact number of sets that I need, then, all right, bodybuilding, that's where it takes over. What can you never have overly developed? Upper chest. So let's go ahead and hit it on some incline. Any incline variation you want. I usually go with a Smith machine, going nice and controlled on the way down, full contraction, full range of motion on the way up, really chasing pump. Afterwards, I go ahead and do some isolation work for the chest. I do some flies, make sure I get a good stretch, really opening up the chest, full contraction, and then I superset it with the triceps. Again, getting a full stretch, bending those elbows as much as I can, and then really squeezing at the top. That's the way I structure my push day, but I didn't really hit the shoulders because when it comes to bodybuilding, aesthetics, although yes, being wider always helps with the aesthetic, I personally don't feel like I need any more shoulder. My collarbones are already pretty wide as it is. So when it comes to training for looks, the looks are going to come down to what you want. So modify it based on what you feel that you need. If you have a muscle group that's already overly developed, okay, you don't have to spend as much time training it. If you have something that's lacking, okay, do a couple extra sets, a couple extra reps, a couple extra exercises to bring it up. That's why for this push day, I didn't really do too many laterals, if any at all, just because I personally don't feel like I need it. But again, it's really individualized when it comes to training for the aesthetics because it's subjective. It's based on what you feel is desirable. What type of physique do you want to have when you look at yourself in the mirror? Third day, that's when we got our pull day. I'm talking about back, I'm talking about biceps. Now for this one, my strength-based movement is a weighted chin-up. Not too popular. Most people will throw in a deadlift, but I actually save my deadlifts for my second leg day, which we'll get to in a bit. Just weighted pull-ups all the way up, pulling those elbows back, squeezing, really helping develop up my lats, and then all the way down, get a good deep stretch back here. Those chin-ups cover my vertical pulling, so that covers my strength portion for a pull down motion. The good thing about back is you can pull and you can row, so I want to get stronger in both. So the second exercise is a 1-arm dumbbell row, going heavy, really dropping my shoulder, pulling my elbow back, really developing up those lats once again. Now I have 1 vertical pull, 1 horizontal pull, 1 pull down motion, 1 rowing motion. Each one of those 2, again, strength based, really focusing on hitting a certain weight for a certain amount of reps and a certain amount of sets. The only difference is, unlike the legs and the push day, there's no top set per se. For this back day, it's more of 3 good sets of each. Just really make sure I'm hitting that volume. Then once those 2 are out the way, now I focus a little bit more so on the bodybuilding. I'm gonna go ahead and do some seated cable rows. Make sure go nice and easy on the eccentric, feel the stretch, really pull, exaggerating that range of motion, just chasing a pump. Now I'm really trying to get as much blood as I can into those lats. And then final exercise, shrugs. Again, bodybuilding, what do we need? We're looking at the physique. I want to make sure I have evenly developed an upper torso right here. I don't want just big shoulders, good neck, but I don't have any traps to fill in this gap in between. Let's go ahead and do some shrugs. Make sure we really build up those traps. Again, all the way up. Nice and easy on the way down, not going relatively heavy, just enough to get some higher rep sets in. That covers Monday through Wednesday. I've hit every major muscle group up until this point. I've already combined strength and aesthetics. Now going on to Thursday and Friday, now I'm hitting the same muscle groups once again, because if we're looking at it from a bodybuilding perspective, why not maximize the amount of muscle growth that you can see instead of training every muscle group just once per week? You look at the research, everything's going to benefit if you could train it at least twice per week. So now we're going to hit everything a second time. Thursday, leg day once again, but instead of the squat being my primary strength movement, it's going to go ahead and be a deadlift. Some people throw deadlifts on back day. I've done that plenty of times. I love it, but just for the sake of how I'm structuring it now, I decided to throw it in on this second leg day, because if you notice, the first leg day, it was very quad based. The second one, now I want to make sure it's hamstring based. So first movement, deadlift, hit my top set, whatever it may be. Then my 2 additional sets, slight variation. Let's go ahead and hit some deficit deadlifts, increasing the range of motion, really helping me build up that power from pulling the bar off the ground. Then afterwards, okay, now a little bit more hamstring based as opposed to just quad based. Good mornings, really practicing that movement, hinging at the hips. If I get stronger in that, build up my hamstrings, build up my lower back by hinging at the hips, practicing those movements, getting stronger, it's gonna have direct carry over to my actual deadlifts. And then again, bodybuilding. Now we're looking at those hammies, we're looking at those glutes, supersetting it, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and do some Nordic curls, really just body weight based exercise to build up the strength, but also you're really focusing on the eccentric because you're going slow on the way down. And the research shows if you want to build more muscle, really prioritize those eccentrics. It's not just about contracting the muscle, it's also about lengthening it under resistance. In this case, the resistance is going to come from your own body weight. So I get whatever I can with those, typically a little bit higher rep range, and then I go ahead and start hitting a little bit of the hips right here. Oftentimes pretty neglected muscle group, especially for men. Women, I know y'all hit a little bit more right here of the glute medius, a little bit of more of the hip region, but for guys, it's a muscle group. Just how you train your arms laterally like this to build up those shoulders, okay, move your legs laterally as well. Get your body used to moving in multiple planes of motion. So get a couple reps with those, and then I'll be good to go. Relatively easy leg day, finishing it off with, again, more reverse hypers, just building up the glutes and the lower back, hamstrings, just the entire posterior chain. Got to make sure it's nice and strong, and also getting the reps in, getting you used to going through that lengthening and contracting motion to build up the muscles. Final day of working out, upper body. This day, easiest workout of the week, just 4 movements. Push, pull, push, pull. I already hit everything once earlier in the week. Tuesday, I hit all my pushing muscles. Wednesday, I hit all my pulling muscles. Now let's just combine them. In this case, starting off with now a vertical press, because whereas on Tuesday, I did a horizontal pushing away from me. Now I need something over my head. Again, getting my arms used to moving in multiple ranges of motion, multiple planes of movement. Shoulder press, nothing too crazy. Higher reps, not too taxing on the joints. Again, supersetting that now with another pull down motion. Again, staying up and down, this time lat pull downs. And now going back to horizontal push, something as simple as just push-ups, and then opposite for back, rows. Again, I'm already pretty beat up by earlier in the week, all the heavy lifting I was doing. So the second upper body day, I typically lean a little bit more towards the body weight exercises. Still have a good amount of resistance, still getting that good pump, still getting higher reps, but at least my joints aren't hurting as much, or it's not as taxing because there's no additional weight. It's just my own body weight, and that's plenty. That's how I combine strength and aesthetics into the actual weighted workouts. But what did we say earlier? It's not just about those two. How about also being lean, having the conditioning, not having low enough body fat percentage to go hand in hand with the aesthetics and strength? There's really no way around it other than watching your diet. You can work out as hard as you want. You can be as strong as you want. But if you want to get lean, you want to have visible abs, you want to have some type of muscle definition, you can do all the cardio in the world, you can do all the workouts you want, but if you're not in a caloric deficit, you won't see the results that you want. I mean, realistically, it comes down to calories in versus calories out. You want to get lean, you want to lose body fat, you gotta be burning more than consuming. But that could be a whole separate video on its own. Let's just assume you have your diet in check. Oftentimes what it comes down to is the reason why you're not lean is because you're not burning enough calories throughout the day. Yes, you already did your workouts with the weights. You already hit the gym. Yes, you already covered your movements for your bodybuilding, your aesthetics, building muscle. Yes, you already hit your barbell movements. You got your strength down. But that 1 hour to hour and a half workout is not going to change the fact that you're still being stationary and you're not even moving and you're seated all day, 8 hours in front of a desk on a chair. You need more movement. Again, when it comes to being lean, just think in terms of movement, burning calories. Any type of movement we do as humans, it's gonna burn calories. This is where that fat loss comes into play. I like to approach it as a completely separate workout. Whereas in the morning, I'm hitting my weights. In the evening, that's when I do my quote unquote cardio. And realistically, all it is just extra movement. What this extra movement may be really comes down to person to person and what your own preferences are. The way I've been structuring it lately is Mondays and Tuesdays, I do some sprints. I go ahead and I hit the track in the evening. I already got my workout with weights done in the morning. All right, in the evening, let's just burn a little extra calories. I've been sitting all day, I have an office job. Let's go outside, get some fresh air, get some movement, get those steps in. Monday, I go ahead and do the shorter length sprints. So anything less than 100 meters, just sprint, go all out. All right, good, done. Tuesday, back on the track. This time, a little bit longer distances. Anywhere between 150 to 400 meters, that's the length of sprints I'm hitting. All right, good. Burning calories. Wednesday, in the evening, I go on a walk. I can sprint again, but nah, let's take it a little easy, let the joints recover because I know I have heavy deadlifts the following Thursday. So I just go out for a walk. Notice how all of these are also outdoors. You spend so much time indoors, so much time just in front of a computer, in front of a screen, whatever it may be. Go and get some fresh air, get the steps in, anything that burns calories, especially if you work a stationary job, you're at a desk all day, you're not moving enough. Just try to find a way to make up those steps or just spread out your steps evenly throughout the day. I don't want to be walking for an hour, hour and a half. No, I'd rather do something for a shorter amount of time, but burn more calories, push myself more intensely in a shorter amount of time to still burn the same amount of calories. Because when it comes to weight loss, getting lean, it's not about how long you're working out for. It's not how long your cardio session is. It essentially comes down to how many calories are you burning. Because again, weight loss is all about calories in versus calories out. That's where my Thursday evening workout comes into play. Boxing. I'm talking about just burning calories, quick, short bursts of just all out, intensity, going by rounds. I'm not in there for a whole lot of time. I'm just talking about 10 rounds of boxing. That's it. Each round, 3 minutes, half a minute of rest in between each one, in and out in 30 minutes. I don't have to be there for a whole hour. All I got to do is just go in there, break a sweat, get my heart rate really high. Boom, done, out the door. Friday evening, last workout. I'm hitting abs directly and I'm focusing on that stretching, that mobility. I spent the whole week pushing myself, essentially 10 workouts Monday through Friday, morning and evening. That's a lot of calories that I'm burning. That's a lot of movement. You don't think I'm gonna feel tired, exhausted, beat up? I'm gonna use that Friday evening workout, my last workout of the week, to just recover. Hit abs, it's not overly taxing, still burning calories, but also stretching, working on that mobility. That's it. So there you have it, everyone. That's just the way I structure my program. For some, it may seem like a lot. If you have to combine the workout, okay, you already did your leg day, just jump on the treadmill for 10 minutes after, burn a little more calories, boom, there's your fat loss, okay? 5 days of working out with weights is too much? Okay, divide it up amongst 3 days. Push, pull, legs. Break it up into 4 days. Upper, lower, upper, lower. Modify it as needed. Just think about the structure of the first few exercises in your split, strength-based, everything that comes afterwards, a little more bodybuilding, a little more aesthetics-based, and then for overall fat loss or weight loss, being lean, your conditioning, focus on movement, burning calories throughout the day. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you did, and also comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is. Comment it down below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss on any new videos, because remember, new videos on this channel are Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. And Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I put all my links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.